Jane? Come along.
Well, Mr. Reed, you see I haven't exaggerated. You and your daughter would have no difficulties keeping it up.
No, I suppose not. May I see the rest of it, please?
Yes, of course. Let me show you the study. I think you're going to like this. Lots of room. With a bit of rearranging, make a playroom for your daughter. What a very lovely child she is.
Yes. Jane? A bit cold in here, isn't it?
Oh, no problem.
This would make a nice playroom.
Yes.
What frightened her so?
It was fire. She's a little nervous of fire.
I see.
Well, it's a standard lease. Seems perfectly in order. Just needs your signature.
Good. There's just one other thing I'd like you to do for me, Mark, if you would.
Yes?
My business brings me up to London quite a bit, as you know. I need somebody to look after my daughter, preferably somebody who will teach her as well.
You're still against sending her to boarding school?
You know my views on that subject.
Yes, I do. Oh, you signed there and there. I'd hoped you might have changed your mind.
No.
Well, we shall have to get someone very soon.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
I'm Norton.
Come in. I've been expecting you since noon.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I got a bit confused by the directions. Anyway, I took the wrong turn.
Yes. Please sit down. Now, Miss Norton.
Mrs. Norton. I'm a widow.
When you telephoned yesterday, you said that you'd been a schoolteacher.
Before I was married.
Do you still think that you are capable of handling the education of a child?
In the classes I taught, I had more than 40 children.
None of them was like Jane, Mrs. Norton.
Why don't you want your daughter in school, Mr. Reed? Is she a problem child?
I suggest you find that out for yourself. She's in the study. Please.
Hello, Jane. I'm Mrs. Norton. Mind if I sit down? You know, you and I really should get acquainted. From now on, we'll be spending a lot of time together. I'm a teacher, Jane. Your father has asked me to come here and help you with your lessons. Well, then. I can see we won't have any problem finding books to study. Even a set of encyclopedias. What a nice room you have here.
I hate it.
But everything's so cozy and cheerful. Well, come on, let's go by the fireplace and have a nice chat.
No!
Jane? Look at me, Jane. That's better. Friends should always speak face to face, don't you think so? Particularly when they have problems to discuss. You know, if you tell me what's wrong, I might be able to help you. Is it the fire?
He always has it going.
Of course, it'd be too cold in here without... Jane, I'm going to ask you something. Like, you don't have to answer me if you don't want to, but I do hope you will. It's about fire. Have you ever been burned? Did it happen to somebody else, someone you knew and loved? I'm glad. Of course, fire can never harm us as long as we're careful, so there's really nothing to worry about, is there? You know, I've often wondered just what we'd do without fire. Did you ever stop to think how much it helps us? It keeps us warm, it cooks our food, even gives us light. Besides, it's really very pretty. I love to watch the flames dancing, don't you? Sometimes it's nice just to see the way the colors change. Look. It's all sorts of shapes. I never get tired of watching. Better. I'm afraid your daughter does have problems.
You're not interested in taking the position, then?
Oh, on the contrary, Mr. Reed. I'm going to stay. This river goes to a big river which flows into the ocean far, far away, see? Perhaps we could go on a trip someday on a boat. Maybe even as far as the ocean. Would you like that?
Yes.
All right, come on then. It's getting late. Let's go into tea, huh?
Oh, I've had such a curious dream, said Alice. And she told her sister as well as she could remember them. All those strange adventures of hers that you have just been reading about. And when she had finished, her sister kissed her and said, "It was a curious dream, dear. Certainly, but now run into your tea. It is getting late."
It is getting late. I think we've accomplished quite a bit today, don't you?
I liked Alice in Wonderland.
Did you? You read it very well.
My father taught me. He said it would give me something to do when I was alone.
Were you always alone, Jane? Have you never had other children to play with?
My father doesn't like me to play with children.
So all you've had are your toys?
My father doesn't want me to play with toys either.
Well, we're going to have to do something about that.
Where are you going?
To make us some lunch. You want to come and help?
I'd rather just stay here now.
And do what?
Watch the fire. I'm not afraid of it anymore. Ever since you told me how you could see shapes in it, I can see things too.
What sort of things?
Pretty ones. Sometimes I can see my mother.
A mother? Ridiculous. Her mother died when Jane was only a baby. She couldn't possibly remember her.
But surely she must have seen photographs of your wife.
I haven't any photographs, Mrs. Norton. They aren't necessary. Jane is all I need to remind me of her mother. She's the living image of her. She grows more and more like her every day.
And your wife must have been a very beautiful woman.
Very.
Well, she's lonely, is Jane?
Mrs. Norton.
That's your daughter's real problem. Loneliness. There's a park in town with a playground. Now, I could take her over
No,
on
that's out of the
Saturday.
question.
But surely contact with other youngsters would only help
Not
her.
yet. Please, I do have my reasons.
I'd be glad to hear them.
You shall, all in good time. Until then, I must ask you to be patient.
All right. On one condition.
Oh?
I want to buy Jane some toys. Good evening, Jane.
Hello.
Did you have a nice day?
Yes, thank you.
I hoped I might find you studying those lessons I left for you.
They're all finished.
Oh, good. Well, I've got some other things here for you to look at.
Toys?
I told you I was going shopping. Paint box, a jigsaw puzzle, and a word game. But first, I want you to see this.
She's very beautiful.
Go on. Take her. What should we call her?
Give me that! Where did this come from?
You gave me permission to buy some toys.
Educational toys, Mrs. Norton.
Not this.
That was a cruel thing to do.
But necessary.
Why do you treat her like this? Is it because you blame her for what happened to your wife?
No. I was glad when she died.
Glad?
Yes, glad. Because by then I had found out what she really was.
And there are all kinds of trees here, Jane. I want you to tell me their names. What's that one?
Silver birch.
Good. Yes. And that one there? What's that?
Oh, a green, a green oak.
Quite right. And what about that one?
Walnut.
Very good. You do know your trees. That's very good indeed. Now, what about this one here? This dark green one. What's this?
That's a yew tree.
Quite right.
You know something, Mrs. Norton? In olden times, yew trees used to be evil magic trees.
How did you know that, Jane?
I read it in a book.
Jane! Lunch is ready. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Quite a storm, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Jane in bed?
All safe and sound. She was asleep when I looked in.
Good. You wanted to talk to me about something?
Yes, I do.
Sit down, Jane.
Mr. Reed, you bring your daughter to an isolated old house in the country. You shut her off from all outside contacts. You even hired me as a private tutor so that she won't have to be with other children. Jane is frightened. But not half as frightened as her father.
That's absurd, Mrs. Norton.
Is it? Then why did you throw that doll on the fire?
It must be a power failure. I'll get some candles. That's funny. They're not in the dresser.
Are you sure that's where you put them?
Quite positive.
What is it? Oh, what is wrong?
There are only 4 candles here. There are only 4 candles here. Where are the others? What did you do with them? Where are they?
Mr. Reed,
Yes?
there's a telephone call for you.
All right, I'll come down. Hello? Yes? Good. So they're all ready to sign? Yes. All right, then. This afternoon? What time? 3. Yes, that'll be all right. Yes, I'll drive in. Fine. I may be a bit late. Traffic's probably going to be rather heavy, but I'll get there as, well, I'll get there as close to 3 as I can, all right? Goodbye.
Good. Will you sign there at the bottom on all 4 copies? John, what is it?
Ready, dear. Let's go for a walk. Huh?
All right.
Come on.
Gone now.
Sure. Can I get you a drink?
No. Perfectly all right, thank you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Reed. What is it?
Yes.
I'll get the doctor.
No.
Hello, Dr. Brady. Yes, look, can you come round at once? This is Mrs. Norton, Yew Tree House. Yes, I'm afraid it is very urgent, yes. Well, thank you so much. We'll be expecting you.
Nothing wrong with your heart. No fever, pulse and respiration normal. And you say the pain's gone?
Yes, quite gone.
Well, I suggest you stop by my office tomorrow. We'll take a few lab tests and x-rays. Probably just an old-fashioned case of indigestion. Well, I shall expect you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Good night.
Good night. Are you sure you're feeling better?
Yes, I'll be all right now.
Then I'll say good night.
Anne, I know you haven't understood why I've been treating Jane the way I do. I didn't ever want to tell you, but now I know I've got to. It's because I'm afraid of her. Just as I was afraid of her mother before her.
Afraid of a child?
She's not just a child. She's evil. Those candles I was looking for, she made a wax image of me out of them. You must find it. You must search the house, but you must find that doll. You must find it before it's too late.
Give me that doll. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me the doll, Jane. Look, I promise you nothing will happen. We'll go on just as before. Nothing will happen. Give me the doll, Jane.
He said I couldn't have a real doll. This isn't real. It's only wax.
Come on, darling. Give me the doll, please, please. Give me the doll. Jane.